Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Zatzman, and lately, I've been feeling out of touch. And I don't think I'm the only one. It started with a simple TikTok trend. Have you seen the latest TikTok trend? Which one? There's so many. This particular TikTok trend is the parents reading Gen Z brainrot words trend, which is exactly that.
Skibidi toiletries, fine shit, where the fuss that?
Negative R. Fine shotty.
Raise you, ja. What the?
Where the hell's that?
Hay bà biết mình đây xanh.
Mama, girl behind you, what the sigma?
Skibidi toiletries. Hot two.
I love all of them. Watching older people struggle to pronounce words properly as their children try to hold back contagious laughter is very cute and wholesome. There's this beautiful absurdity to Gen Z slang that powers this whole dynamic. As if the ridiculousness of these phrases like skibbity toilet riz, fine shite, what the sigma? Hawk two, hawk two, hawk two, hawk two, which are a part of youth culture, is on full display. Oh, haha. These are actual Gen Z references that have meaning to you. How quaint. Oh, pshaw. The whole thing is in good fun until the realization hits that I don't understand half of these sayings. What the hell is hyperpigmentation? Where the huz at? Like hose? Are you saying hose? Negative aura. People talk like this? What the sigma? I'm noticing that I'm checking Urban Dictionary a lot more than I used to. I have to Google all this stuff. I used to be at the cutting edge of relevancy, and now I'm catching on to trends at the tail end of them. I'm finding out about the latest memes at the same frequency as my parents do. Oh shit. I knew this day would come.
Am I so out of touch?
Yes.
What better way to showcase this effect than by using a show that no longer has the same cultural relevance it once did as a framing device for this video essay? Season 7, Episode 24 of The Simpsons, Homer Palooza, deals with this feeling of becoming out of touch. Don't know what The Simpsons is?
The Simpsons is an American animated sitcom created by Matt Groening and developed by Groening, James L. Brooks, and Sam Simon for the Fox Broadcasting Company.
The episode kicks off when Otto, the school bus driver, crashes the bus, so Homer starts carpooling the kids to school instead. Every morning drive, he tries to bond with them through his discussion of old slang and Grand Funk Railroad.
Quit jiving me, turkey. You got to sass it. A turkey is a bad person.
He plays a lot of that old dad rock, and the children think his musical taste is uncool and cringe.
Dad, no one cares about any of your stupid dinosaur bands. You have the worst, lamest taste in music ever.
I get that there as kids, but Homer Simpson, you are a grown-ass man. Why are you trying to impress a bunch of elementary school students? Oh yeah, because the plot needs to happen. Homer discovers that all his favorite music from his youth is now old and out of date, which leads to this flashback that contains my favorite line from the series. A line that exemplifies this phenomenon perfectly.
I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
Homer is no longer cool. He's no longer with it. And so he spends the rest of the episode trying to be cool, first by taking his kids to a music festival, and then by joining a touring freak show where they shoot cannonballs at him. Homer Simpson, what a guy. This episode taps into the first of three factors that's contributing to this out of touch feeling. Namely, as you age, other priorities take precedent in your life. Work, family, existential dread, and you can't keep up, or you lose that desire to stay on top of contemporary culture. It starts when you stop recognizing popular artists or celebrities who all seem to be getting younger at an alarming rate. You look at the lineup from Coachella and have no idea who any of these people are. Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Disco Johnson, Who are these people? I've never listened to a Chappell Roan song in my life. I'm gonna do that now. Spotify, Chappell. No, I don't want premium. There's a song that has 1.5 billion plays. Good luck, babe.
A few moments later.
I like this. I'm feeling a light 7. Is Anthony Fantano even relevant anymore? Is there a new music review person? Is it Disco Johnson? That was actually a very nice song. I enjoyed that. Then it's the latest fashion trends. We either don't fuck with them that much or have no idea what's even fashionable anymore. Or everything comes and goes in and out of style so fast that it's hard to keep up with anything. But more on that later. When all the Gen Z boys started rocking those broccoli haircuts, looking like a broccoli club walking down the street, I knew that I was missing something here. As a dude, I like wearing jeans. They are comfortable and stylish. Yee. But now I'm wondering what the appropriate jean cut is nowadays. Are they skinny jeans? Is it slim fit? What about the color? If I wear a certain thing, will that show how dated I am? What about shoes? Shoes. 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 Oh my god. When you reference something from your youth and get blank stares in return, that's when you know. I used to be a gamer. A video gamer. But outside of playing a few rounds of Mario Party with the family and playing A Link to the Past during the pandemic, I haven't seriously touched video games in over a decade. Being an adult with adult responsibility means I have to weigh the cost of time and money playing video games versus doing anything else. Ba 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 na na. I need money to live. Yeah. I have never played Fortnite. I have never played Minecraft. When Jack Black said, "Chicken jockey," in the movie, I don't know what that means. Also, I didn't see the movie. I don't know what the latest games are and who's playing what. I think World of Warcraft is still being played today. Apparently, if you play that game enough, that makes you qualify to be the top political commentator on Twitch now. I guess? I don't understand what's happening on Earth. For me, the feeling of being out of touch set in around the time TikTok blew up during the pandemic. I was not on that app, at least to the degree that everyone else seemed to be. I like being online. YouTube and Reddit were my jam. But this new TikTok thing, the speed at which it took off and began to shape online culture, filled me with this weird mix of dread and apathy. Dreadapathy. Apathread. I tried using it. I had periods of being on the app, but the user experience did not stick for me. If I was 19 years old, I would be all over this shit. However, now, or then, as a 30-something-year-old man dude, TikTok seemed almost juvenile to me. Not just in the content, but with the content delivery. I didn't like it. It got boring scrolling through an entire trend of people doing the same things for attention. Like, how many times do you see people doing the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show dance? The first few times it's cute. After that, please stop. Da-na-na-na, they're not like us. Da-na-na-na, Drake Europe. Allegedly, in a song. Part of why I was bored was the notion that everything old is new again. I was recognizing familiar patterns and cultural tropes from my youth being recycled. So now, they weren't hitting as hard. Take, for instance, all the gender war nonsense. It's so boring. You come across another video where a girl is like, you know what gives me the ick? When a man eats a tuna sandwich and then cuts to an endless list of icks as if to say, wow, women have such unrealistic standards. And I know this is just familiar rage bait slop content because it's the umpteenth iteration of this cultural trope. I am not 19 years old. I am neither inexperienced nor a stupid angry person. I'm an adult. I'm an adult! Time is a flat circle. We had Badger Badger or Gary's Mod. Today, it's Skibbity Toilet and the Rizzler. We said phrases like YOLO, swag, or you've got mail, LMAO, LOL. Now, it's cooking on God, for real, no cap. Chat, we're so cooked, chat. Chat, hey chat, we're so cooked. Or whatever slang is taken from black culture. And here's the thing, on a meta level, Once you realize that feeling too old for this shit, while simultaneously being okay with that feeling, you stop freaking out about it, and this makes becoming out of touch seem less dire. Maybe be a little less judgmental and let people enjoy things. There's another younger generation growing up after the current generation. We'll all go through similar motions. The circle of life continues. Don't worry. It'll happen to you. Now, I could point the finger solely at no TikTok being the reason why I felt so out of touch, but honestly, it wasn't just TikTok, as sentiment permeated throughout my entire online experience from YouTube to Reddit to Twitter. And that brings us to the second factor for becoming out of touch. The internet is bad now. Everything is trying to emulate everything else. YouTube wants to be TikTok. TikTok wants to be Amazon. Amazon wants to be everything. Twitter is trying to be 4chan. It's all become one big corporate advertisement, with various influencers fighting for your attention so they can sell you crap through consuming the endless amount of content they produce. It's a never-ending, boring sales catalog.
Sears catalog. Now, would you unhook this already, please? I don't deserve this kind of shabby treatment.
We all know it, we all feel it, and it's frustrating because the user experience could be better. It could be better now. I like the internet. I want it to be better than what it used to be, but that's not happening. And that makes me sad. Makes many people sad.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistake.
Now, whenever I'm spiraling into an existential funk, I always find that there's some guy or a lady whose writings from a decade ago are somehow even more relevant today. If I'm feeling some kind of way about the human experience, odds are somebody has already written about it in a book published decades ago. Someone who answers my questions, coalesces my thoughts, and makes me look smarter in a video essay by referencing them. It's like as you're reading them, everything starts clicking and your brain is swishing threes like Steph Curry. So all you're hearing is Mike Breen in the background going, wow, the book is so amazing. There are so many guys. So I'm just gonna pick a guy out of the guy hat. Gonna get the guy hat. Let's go get the guy hat. Guy hat. Guy hat. Oh. Marshall McLuhan. Herbert Marshall McLuhan he's dead. Herbert Marshall McLuhan was a Canadian philosopher and professor whose work is among the cornerstones of media theory. He's the one who popularized the term, the medium is the message. What does this mean? It means that the form a medium takes will have pronounced influence on human relationships, human consciousness, and how we conceive of the world, more so than any specific content communicated through that medium.
The idea that television, computers, and the rest are just tools that we use for better or worse isn't true.
The way you react to them is what's important, not what's in them or on them. How you use your eyes to see, your ears to hear, brings about new forms of human association and action. I don't know about copyright, so I'm quoting the transcript from a documentary I watched about him. The first 10 minutes are hilarious because they dedicate a surprising amount of time to the Marshall McLuhan Haters Club.
My largest objections to his principle is that he's basically a whimsical sociologist rather than a penetrating philosopher or a deep-thinking psychologist.
I really have nothing against Marshall McLuhan, except that he got everything from Norbert Wiener, who was a mathematician.
I do believe he is a popularizer. I do believe in 5 years we will look back at this book. I don't think it's of long or lasting influence.
Well, hindsight is always fun. Being on social media or just existing on the modern internet fundamentally changes how you communicate, how you perceive others, and how you perceive yourself. You scroll through an endless stream of short-form videos, tweets, and takes on this tiny rectangle that lives in your pocket through the watching and the posting and the commenting and the vergleiven. This ends up molding us around it rather than the other way around. It changes how we view ourselves, how we value one another, and how we speak to one another, all the skibbity doodah dibbity yay. My oh my, what a lovely day. Toilet Riz. Mediums essentially serve as teaching machines. The tweet you come across on the timeline, no matter how much of a banger it may be, is not what's important here. It's Twitter. I will never call it X. All media or technologies work us over completely. They are so permeating throughout, and there are personal, political, psychological, moral, ethical, and social consequences that they leave no part of us untouched. I'm quoting the documentary. A long, long time ago, we just had books. We could only understand each other through the printed medium.
Think for a minute of how one reads. One sits alone, one's eye scans a line at a time. The author's ideas come to you one at a time off the page. It's a private experience. It's not a community or family activity. You do this alone.
I like how this guy says the book.
The age of the book.
The age of the book.
By the book.
Oh, the book.
A book.
Yes, the book.
The book.
As other mediums emerge, film, television, radio, the internet, the importance of the book changes. We have different lenses by which we can view the human experience. It goes to the point we're at now. We just do this. Or this. Or this. To receive and transmit all this information all at once, never ending, until you put down the phone. Think for a minute, how on smartphones? Yes, I'm making that a verb. Unlike the book, it's not a private experience. You can watch any video at 2x speed while reading subtitles, getting that information into your brain faster. That's how I watched this documentary, by the way. And if you do that enough, you begin to hear audio play back in your head at 1.5 or 2x speed. Regular time becomes too slow. You need to get the next thing faster because it's endless and connected to everything else, be it internet application or regular communication. This is the same place where I text my mom, and I can call my mom. And I can FaceTime my mom. And I can FaceTime your mom. And I can watch AI-generated slop videos about FaceTiming moms. And then get sent the AI-generated slop video about FaceTiming moms by my actual mom. And now I have to explain to her that it's not real. It's endless. We know it's endless. But it's just a screen. It's just this.
The instantaneous world of electric informational media involves all of us, all at once. Ours is a brand new world of all-at-onceness. Time, in a sense, has ceased, and space has vanished.
Marshall referred to the simultaneous happening, this everything, everywhere, all-at-onceness, like being a part of a global village. He saw this as a transition from individualism to people becoming more of a tribal man, not caveman tribal, but a collective identity. Considering how many people feel more atomized and more alone than ever, despite being able to communicate with literally everyone, maybe a little ironic, yes. But for Finding Sarah Marshall McLuhan, he's looking at it in terms of mediums. Moving on from the age of the book and how we interface with that medium, reading words on a page in isolation, to the electronic age we live in now. The global village. And this doesn't necessarily mean peace, harmony, and kumbaya, but it does mean a huge involvement in everyone else's affairs. We now share too much about each other to be strangers to each other. Everyone's business becomes your business. We're incentivized to participate, and in doing so, there's a loss of private life. And no, this isn't just about giving away your personal information to corporations so they can sell your data to advertisers. It's the participation itself. It's becoming part of this informational exchange.
You've got to be everywhere at once, whether you like it or not. You have to be participating in everything going on at the same time, and that is not a point of view.
But when you're picking up and interfacing with all this information from all these different directions all the time, how are you supposed to have a fixed point of view? How do you maintain a sense of self? How am I supposed to be my own person? How is it even possible to discover who I am? Do not have an existential crisis. Don't make me tap the sign. The sign says do not have an existential crisis. Social media isn't what it used to be. There was a time when Facebook, MySpace, early Instagram, these were places where you can interact with your actual social circle, real people you knew, or a community of like-minded people sharing posts, pictures, and memes. There was a separation in the real world between your online and offline life, being on the computer versus on a Razr phone. The apps had specific functions. You were logging into something. With a smartphone putting all this communication in the same space, social media lost that specific utility in connecting people that way. Now there are group chats, Discord, and texting. If I want to connect with someone, I don't have to stay in their DMs or keep engaging with their content. With different ways of being able to connect with people, you didn't need to be only on social media for those reasons. So it morphed into something else. Morphin' time! Consuming algorithmically generated content, advertisements, engagement bait, slop, and occasionally quality content. Moving away from this original conception is what's made these platforms lose that special sauce.
Mamma mia!
Now look, content has always existed online, but there were specific websites designed for that. The primordial soup of the old internet was action-driven and a lot of fun. A digital playground, a bastion of discovery where you could explore a whole host of different web pages. You went to newgrounds.com to watch an animated short. You went to homestarrunner.com to see Homestar Runner.
It's .com.
Cut.
You went to Bob Loblaw's Law Blog to read his latest law blobs. You were in control of the experience, everything wasn't so hyper-connected, and you could maintain your sanity. If the old internet was like a mom and pop shop, the modern internet is like going to Walmart. Everything is so corporate and optimized. The experience is crafted for me, and I don't get to choose what I want to see unless I'm being very deliberate. More on that later. Instead of seeing what I want to see in the order I want to see it in, the apps just throw stuff in your face. Algorithms are supposed to adjust to what they think I want, but I know what it's doing and how they're trying to keep me engaged through this content, attention, advertising, monetary feedback loop. So I end up resisting that and resenting that.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
The internet isn't an escape anymore. It's blended into real life and now shapes our reality. You're forced to engage with it, otherwise you miss out. That's a big reason why people keep coming back, even if it's shit. Fear of missing out, fear of stagnating, being part of progress, and a part of the 21st century human experience. There's no separation. It's gone. The richest man in the world owns Twitter, and all he does is tweet and try to destabilize democracies. The same app he owns ends up pwning him by giving him brain rot. Yes, I said pwning because Elon's sense of humor is stuck in early 2010s 4chan. If I had $1 billion, if I had $1 billion, I'd buy all 3 branches of the US government. This is the world we live in. But interacting with the online world is such a chore. There's too much to keep up on. Current events, culture, politics, Disco Johnson's latest hit song, Groovy Groovy Let's Party Baby. Personally, I like to take my time, sip on some tea, take in the scenery. Trends go by so quickly that by the time that first thought crosses your mind, they're over. Every possible take gets spewed out before you have a chance to sit down. Everything happens so fast. Nothing has time to sit in. It burns you out. When everyone and everything are demanding your attention, it's hard to pay attention to anything. Whether you like it or not, you're compelled to play the social game. A game whose value I recognize on both sides of the coin. A game of seeking social status through algorithms, metrics, and gaining people's interest either by giving them dopamine or getting dopamine in return. I'm not even using that term properly, but this is the way it's used in popular culture, so I'll say the joke. Dopamine.
Dopamine.
The point is, the social game extends beyond the online space and into the real world. This is how the majority of people interact with and shape culture. So to be relevant, you have to be in it. You subsume your identity to be part of the global village. Without clout, influence, attention, and financial gain are woven together in the modern internet, being with it means power. Relevance is currency nowadays. There's a fear that if you don't remain with it, you will fall off and fade into obscurity. I've seen this happen with larger creators who used to get big numbers, but now their content gets modest numbers, lower numbers. Either because they changed up what they used to do, or the audience moved on, or they kept doing the same thing, except it's not trendy anymore. Looking at my own history, my more popular videos were on trendy internet subjects like the dopamine detox, the TikTok manosphere, weird dating advice people on YouTube.
So I got a quote that I wrote. Women are like cats and tend to roam free and come and go as they please.
All filled with internet memes, jokes, references, and I know if I hadn't bartered with that online cultural relevancy, they wouldn't have done as well. Yes, making good art is important. Thoughtful commentary is always welcome. But if you're someone who leans more into creativity, there's always that tension. You don't want to get boxed into one style or one way of doing things. You don't want to block yourself off from exploring and trying different modes of being. And you're balancing that with making something that pops off and maintaining your relevance with what works. There's a fear of becoming irrelevant. You want to matter, you want to sustain yourself, and the fear is, if you're not with it, if you're not in the know, if you're not trendy, if you run out of memes, that means social death for you. And if you're dead, it's hard to make art, unless you are zombie Shakespeare.
Show's over, Shakespeare. Is this the end of zombie Shakespeare?
So yeah, the medium is the message. By interacting with it, you start to see yourself and the world differently, for better or for worse.
The medium does things to people, and they're always completely unaware of this.
When you break down the medium, how it works, what it's doing to you, and why it's doing it to you, it's both exciting and irritating.
Many of the things I talk about, I find very irritating.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm so glad we're on our first name basis. I see how the modern internet affects me, how it changes how I think, how it molds me around it. And honestly, I don't know if I have to be a better person in order to use it, or that's just the way it is, and I'm better off avoiding it. Am I just being an idiot?
An idiot means a very private person. That's a Greek word meaning a very private person. I'm losing my idiot status steadily. I'm becoming less and less private. I'd much rather be an idiot.
You are an idiot!
Remember that? Remember that internet thing? Remember the member berries? Remember that from the show?
People have always been unaware of new environments because they're afraid of them. From the moment of birth, people sense that the environment, the new environment around them, is hostile. It's a real threat to their whole existence. And so every time an environment changes, we hasten to seek security and comfort in the old environment.
This is why there's comfort in nostalgia. The present moment is constantly in motion, dynamic, unstable, and never static. We are making the future in the present with our only reference point being the past. What's already happened. Here's a wild thought. Did you know that at any moment you can just decide to be a completely different person? You don't have to be tethered to the self-concept you've used to define yourself. You can change. I can change, 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 I can change. LCD Sound System. I love that band. You do have the capacity for change, but change is scary. So you fall back on what you've always known. Simpsons references.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas.
A totem of our past monoculture that no longer has the strength it once did, due to the niches and infinite subcultures that exist in the engagement machine that both connect and fragment our cultural experiences. For better or for worse.
I love you, Dr. Zayas!
My nostalgic yearning remembers when you can just post things on the internet, and that was it. No metrics, no likes, You just post. You put a thing on the internet. You can still do that now, but with emerging platforms or technologies comes new rules to learn. You can study how to use TikTok more algorithmically effectively, understanding the meta, the hashtags, the niches, how the platform works, and how to edit videos correctly with all the filters and sounds. Then there's the AI wave that's been gaining popularity over the past few years. I don't care for it. Right now it feels like advanced Google. It's also sort of dumb, but I'm compelled to learn aspects of it because 1, it's useful, and 2, either everyone is using it or will be soon. I like the old ways. I like what's familiar. I'm not entirely comfortable with all this new shit, either because of the learning curve or because it's a dystopian nightmare. So, I distance myself from it, thereby becoming more out of touch. I'm uncomfortable, I'm insecure. I don't like how thinking about all this breaks my brain and sends me into an existential spiral. So now we come at last to the third factor that contributes to feeling out of touch. It's just you. The irony of being too connected with everyone and everything is that you end up disconnected from yourself. You're so in touch with what's going on outside that you lose touch with what's going on inside. You stop understanding who you are, what your needs are, and what you want out of life. There's no clear separation between online and real life anymore, so the escapism that the internet used to provide now manifests as an internal dissociation that cuts you off from yourself. This is why I keep having existential crises when I talk about all this online crap. Climbing the metaconceptual ladder in your brain doesn't give you any answers. When you derive meaning from culture, be it online or offline, and you lose interest in that, you start questioning whether the problem is the culture itself or whether there's something within you that's changing. Not knowing the answer deepens the spiral. Have I lost touch with myself because I've been distracted by the culture, or is that just how life works? Things fade and you grow out of them. Because there's still a part of you that enjoys participating in the global village, yet you desire a solid identity, a foundation that is yourself. You don't know how much of you is you, and in the process, you become alienated from yourself. What do you do when the mechanism to interact with culture is broken? Because of how the engagement machine operates, I'm not fully in control of the experience. Couple that with the aforementioned existential crisis, and this ends up chipping away at my mental health. I have to use other tools to prevent myself from using these tools too much. And I shouldn't have to be this deliberate in making a shitty experience tolerable. Why is it this stressful to participate in the global village? It's this resistance, this friction that has made it difficult for me to do commentary on anything. And that's what I do. Whether it's boredom, lack of curiosity, whether it's the culture or myself, I don't want to associate with any of this. I don't want to be in touch, but I don't like feeling out of touch. I don't like that I don't want to be in touch. And then it hits me like a lightning bolt. The real problem is that you aren't connected to anyone in real life. You aren't doing the things for your mind, body, and soul to make you want to seek out that connection. Culture, I'm realizing, isn't an end in itself. It's a means of relating to other people. This is why I've fallen out of various fandoms and why I haven't kept up with long-running series or various communities, because those things by themselves don't have enough to sustain my interest unless I can be around other people. Except for One Piece. One Piece is the greatest thing ever and it's not even close. Future video. The more I'm connected to other people in the real world, the more I want to stay in touch with what's going on. Back when I was in school, in clubs, and a part of communities, I naturally kept up with music scenes, new media, and current events, not because I was forcing it, but because I was around other people who cared, and we shared in that joy together. What used to trip me up was the overthinking. The feeling that I was being subsumed into an identity that wasn't really mine. I remember asking someone for hip-hop recommendations once, and he gave me this massive list of artists, and I just felt overwhelmed and stressed out. It made me question myself. Was I manufacturing interest just to relate to this person? Would I ever have that kind of deep appreciation for anything? Am I destined to be an empty shell of a person latching onto other people's interests without being passionate about my own? That's, you don't have to go that deep unless you want to. It's not about matching someone's knowledge or passion levels. It's about the energy, the exchange, the sharing. Don't overthink it. The other piece was giving myself some distance from the online space and cultural chatter so I could get to know myself again. To reignite that inner spark that makes you want to be in touch. Because feeling alienated from yourself is not a great place to be. For me, that meant returning to things I used to love, but I lost interest in. Writing and making music. The aforementioned existential crisis was making me question why, but through giving myself the space, by limiting the online exposure, I discovered that writing came back to me, and it's been fucking fantastic. Morning pages, YouTube scripts, just writing down everything. Writing. Write. Words. Write. I am writing. Music, on the other hand, I tried it again, having spent years producing electronic beats, and now I'm just like, Comparing the two helped me realize that yeah, some things are central to who I am, and yeah, sometimes other things fade, and that's normal. The point is, when you disconnect from the online world and start doing things offline, you reconnect with yourself. Maybe you have a sense of what you want to do. Maybe you have a sense of what your values are and what matters to you, but you're too afraid or too insecure, so you push it down, using escapism to mask your true feelings. But confronting yourself, that's the way through. And it's scary. It's hard. It takes work. Doesn't happen in a day, but it's worth it. Trust me. Since I've been doing this, I've become more in touch with myself and have been having all these brain blasts. I realized why I don't follow people online. It has less to do with being a Giga Chad, immune to distractions, but more so because I'm insecure. I compare myself, I feel FOMO. When I see other people pursuing their dreams or accomplishing personal achievements, I feel shame because I'm not doing the things I want to be doing. And especially when I see others doing that, my soul dies. I want to be doing those things. I want to be making videos. I want to make art. I want to do. And just being honest about that, having that awareness, and owning it without shame, that has been liberating. This is why the existential spiraling isn't hitting as hard this time around. I'm learning. Going through that online identity crisis and pulling back helped me discover truths about who I am, which finally let me move beyond this never-ending existential crisis. Purpose, meaning, a sense of identity, they all give me the confidence moving forward to re-engage with the world, no matter how irritating it may be, without being insecure or forgetting who I am. This is what I want to impart to you, dear viewer. You'll be okay. It'll be okay. We're all works in progress. If you watched the video to this point, and thank you, by the way, and chances are that you're probably on a similar wavelength, or you just like looking at my face and hearing me talk. That's valid too. I'm hoping this can illuminate something within you. I believe in you. Trust yourself. I believe in you. I believe in you. So, if you've been feeling out of touch lately, yeah, that's understandable. We live in an age of constant distractions, so maintaining your peace is essential for your overall well-being. It's hard to stay up to date with every trend or cultural shift, so it's okay to let things pass you by. You can stay open-minded and choose which bits and pieces of culture to engage with. You're an adult. I hope you can do what you like, listen to what you want, watch what you want, and ignore the rest. There's pressure to conform and stay with it, but you don't have to. I go through phases of wanting to discover new stuff and phases of being obsessed with older, more familiar stuff. Sometimes I want to discover new music on Spotify. Other times I want to listen to Queen or Men at Work. Who can it be now? Who can it be
be knocking at my door. FBI, open up!
Go away.
Don't come round here no more.
Who can it be now? I've been obsessed with this song for like 3 weeks. Sometimes I understand the latest slang or memes and feel with it. Other times I feel like a boomer trying to log into my email. You can control the faucet, how much information you let in, because you want the inputs of learning about cool shit without the output of being sucked into an endless hellscape prison. So finding that balance for yourself is key. Less internet distraction brain rot, more healthy, happy brain, smart, good. I know I sound like a broken record at this point. Personally, I like to think of it like a melody, because in the end, you create the connections. Real people, real interests, real you. That's what guides you. That's how you stay in touch. Anyways, turns out that if Homer takes another cannonball to the gut, he will die. But he'll die cool.
Cannons are designed to hurt. They're designed to hurt.
Thanks for the insight, Marge. Wow, all this dramatic tension. What is he gonna do? Guess what? Homer Simpson, he's just that dude. What a guy. After leaving the festival, Homer learns this life lesson.
So, I realized that being with my family is more important than being cool.
What you just said was powerfully uncool.
You know what the song says? It's hip to be square.
That song is so lame.
Hey, Paul!
Wait, Marge. Maybe if you're truly cool, you don't need to be told you're cool.
Well, sure you do. How else would you know?
They don't know what it takes to be cool, and that's okay. You don't have to be hip, you don't have to be with it. You're fine with your level of coolness and withitness. Because if being in the know means understanding what this is, then I'd rather be an idiot. Honestly, who the fuck is this baseball bat man? Why is he there? What is he doing? What is this?
Ballerina cappuccina. Me.
Tralalero, tralala, shark with blue shoes. Slides through the sea like he's got nothing to lose.
Tung, sahur. And I love ballerina cappuccino.
Tralalelo Tralala is A tier. His shoes are fire, but in combat, he doesn't quite match his rival Bombardio Crocodillo, D tier.
What is happening? Oh my god, chat. We're so cooked, chat. Chat, we're so cooked. Chat. On real, God, for real, on God. No cap. No cap. We're so freaking cooked.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh days. Fresh goes better with Mentos. I'm losing my mind!
Mentos, the fresh maker.